All right, I am calling the March 3rd, 2025 Health and Human Relations Commission of Jefferson County to order. Welcome, everybody. For our first agenda item, we're going to review, if needed, the minutes. Did everybody receive minutes from Dave earlier this week? Or last week? Okay. All right, so I move to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Seconded by Lindsay Falsick. And with that approval, we can move on to our next agenda item, which is time for public input and agenda items submitted online. There were no agenda items submitted online.
I'm still control. I'm so
Sure,
sorry.
absolutely. So we don't have agenda items online, but we do have plenty of agenda items that have come up just in review for last meeting's items. So in our last meeting, Brian Amick gave us some items for the comprehensive plan that they were looking at for the county commissioners. And if we didn't share those with you, we can't. We are kind of adjusting to new members, so I will go ahead, because I forgot to do this with the welcome, welcome Gigi Christie, our newest member to the commission. Welcome. We're very excited to see new transitions into our commission, so it's very wonderful. Lindsay just transitioned onto the commission a few months ago, so.
Okay, then thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for applying.
Yeah.
So Brian Amick noted some items in our meeting last time, kind of worked on a few things that we had some action items to follow up on. One of them was to check with LifeSpring's facility assessment through the county commissioners, and Dave, that was on your to-do list.
Yeah, our attorney was getting them a letter of, a memorandum of understanding was the title, and I think he had been waiting to get something from them, thinking they had something, but they didn't, so he put it together and sent it to them, and we haven't heard back from them yet, so that should be shortly, and then so I'll report something next month,
Okay.
and then we can get them to kind of have them come in and talk about their plans once that gets signed.
Great. So we will follow up with that once again next month. Great. There were a few other things on the list that I think were under me since I was so ambitious and trying to get things done this month to distract myself. So I did check in with Lindsay from the health department, and she was not able to come to our meeting this week, but will be coming to our March 27th meeting. So she will give us some updates with what the health department's been doing in the last year with grant funding, and help fill in on our new members to what the health department's doing, and kind of see how we can see how this might be checking off some of the things on this comprehensive plan, and take note of that. Another thing that was on my list was to look into strategic plans for our commission, which was one of the items on that strategic plan list. And that is one thing I did not put a lot of effort into yet, but I did look, and I've been doing some like creative search terms because there are not a lot of health and human relations commissions out there. So I'm looking more at human rights commissions and health commissions, and I'm going to see how that plays out to see how other communities have done strategic plans for organizations like ours. So So it's in the works, but I don't have a lot to report on. And I might reach out to other meetings or bring it up again at the next meeting if it seems too big for me to handle alone, to help. Mainly, like, I think I could figure out the human relations part, but somebody's probably more qualified to do the health side than me, because that is not my background. So yes. The next thing, I did reach out to Recovery Cafe, Jefferson House, and Ruth Haven to check in to see if they would like to come and report on their resources as another part of the potentially seeing where it falls into the strategic plan. And I have heard back from Ruth Haven, the Women's House. So we should hear from them soon about which meeting they can come to in the future, so we can learn more about what they do, what challenges they face, where we might fall into like helping out with challenges and things like that. And I didn't reach out that long ago, so we very are likely to still hear from Recovery Cafe and Jefferson House. All right. Oh, here's where I noted to welcome Gigi. Too late. Sorry. Next, I visited OVO, Ohio Valley Opportunities, to learn more about their organization. Brad Wood came and visited us a little while back to tell us more about what they do and invited us to come and like meet them all. And since I am partially employed, I had free time to go during the day while they were all there. And so I got to sit in with them, and they all got to tell me like all of the different intricacies of their programming and what they do. So I thought I would just verbally share what I learned in that meeting. And DJ, I will send you these notes so you don't have to type them for the minutes. The meeting was on February 10th. The first basics of what I learned is that in the last year, 13,500 people in our community, which is like a 3-county section, were served, and a total of 6,600 households were served. There was a 26% increase in utility needs this year. There was a 50% increase in home repair needs this year, and a 123% increase in child dental screenings this year. And all of these increases are happening after COVID funds have ended. So they have been really in need of resources. OEO has a high return on investment that directly impacts our community and surrounding counties. And they have a data-driven approach to their community action promise. Their community needs assessment is on their website, and I have a link which we can include in the minutes. One of their programs that they provide is called Energy Assistance. They have a heating subsidy program that is seasonal, and 6,000 families were served last year with this program alone. However people heat their homes is how OVO helps them. So if you gas, it could be electric, pellet stoves, whatever is used is how they approach helping out households. And there's a $650 household benefit in the program. So that's how much they can work with for each household. Energy saving tips are part of a new program they're working with Energy Assistance. They work to exchange light bulbs for LED bulbs and other similar topics in energy savings. And they identify at-risk homeowners with old furnaces for replacement. I usually do about 30 to 40 of those per year. And that's Energy Assistance. There's also the housing choice vouchers. So that's the Section 8 program that we heard quite a bit about when Brad Wood came, because we were talking about housing in the community and what challenges there were. And we learned a little bit about this the other week, but vouchers can go to any type of housing that a family chooses. And they the vouchers travel with families when they move. So if you have a Section 8 housing voucher, you don't have to just stay in the same spot. You can move to other locations. They averaged assisting 366 families per month with this program. And they do tenant and landlord education on safe housing. And they are working to recruit more landlords for the program. The next program was Head Start, which is a comprehensive preschool program that educates children to close the achievement gap between those who can and cannot afford preschool. Offers health services, so meals and health screenings. I think I mentioned some dental program that they are doing as well with that increase mentioned before. It includes family involvement, so getting families involved in the education process. They focus a lot on social emotional education, and they serve 135 children in Jefferson, Jennings, and Scott County. Children involved include these demographics. So they have 9 foster children, 5 unhoused or homeless children in the program, 30 in households at the 100% poverty level, 66 are eligible for SNAP, 12% have IEPs, and 50 to 55% will go to kindergarten each year. And this was a program where they specifically mentioned if we want to get involved, they are open for volunteers if people want to read books to kids. So that is one way we can get involved. We could look for more ways too. But yeah, that sounds like fun. The next program is weatherization, which is referring to both winterizing and summerizing houses to help lower energy resource needs. It provides education about slowing down utility meters and making more comfortable homes. So they do things like provide smoke and CO2 detecting equipment for households. They seal houses off from their garage to help with indoor air quality. And they replace heating systems for more efficient heat pumps. They also provide air filters, and they serve about 60 homes per year with that program. And that was it. So I will copy and paste that into an email and send it to you for the minutes. So yeah, there's just a lot of work going on. There's contact information on their website for each of their different departments if you have questions for them, or if we want to send people that way. It's maybe another option for our website to have links to their website and services, as well as a resource for the community. They do a lot of good work.
So you said you visited on the 10th of February?
That's right.
Okay, I was curious if there was any I guess I'm curious, are the, like their Head Start programs and things, are they federally funded, and were they really dramatically impacted by the funding freeze? Because I like read in some places that like some of the places had to close.
They didn't mention it.
Okay, I was just curious.
I talked to him a little bit about it, and they had a plan in place for if the funding didn't come through. They did get their funding, but they're under another time sensitive, let's see what happens. I think the 15th of March is a date that sticks up out in my mind as something they're waiting on. But he's had to do, unfortunately, like, how long can we stay open if the money doesn't show up kind of thing. And it sounded like they have 2 weeks they could stay open if funding stops. Then they'd have to shut down until funding returns, so.
Yeah, I wonder if that's tied to, I think March 15th is the budget deadline for making a new budget.
Mm-hmm.
And so that will.
He's meeting with a few state representatives, well, even a senator or congresswoman coming up to talk about what it is that they do and why it's so important. And so they're doing a lot of kind of lobbying work too right now.
It's a lot to do.
Yeah, I know that he is very stressed out, worried, anxious about it all, so.
Yeah. I mean, it took me like 10 minutes to read everything they did.
Yeah, I mean, and just how many people that they're helping, it's incredible, so.
Yeah, it's amazing work. And some of the just like things that maybe didn't make it into my notes, but as far as like our focus on health in the community, and even something as simple as like sealing garages off from houses and affecting the air quality in a house can really drastically affect the health of children and their performance in school and everything else. So, and not just the children, but the adults too. It's really easy to create a bad air environment in your house if you don't have that kind of thing happening. So yeah, that and more. And I'm sure there's like hundreds of anecdotal things that I'm not including here that just really make a difference every day for our community. So I do hope we see it continue. And I don't know if would the commissioners be having conversations about how to help supplement programs that might see funding cuts like this that are so important for the community? Grant programs or anything like that?
I don't know that we've had many discussions. Something that popped into my mind is that Lindsay's getting some funding this year for some of these health-related topics. I think that could be, I've got a big question. Are they working with OVO and have they, or have they thought about it? I think we have Brian is the kind of the grant administrator for the county, so we can ask him to kind of keep an eye out on things that might fit into that. So
Okay.
there'll be some opportunities there.
Yeah, we don't want to see that go away. All right. Do you want to check in with Brian? We can put that on your action.
Yep.
Steps for next meeting. And I guess we'll just ask Lindsay or would you that or
She's here.
Okay. Let me find back where my notes I left off. Okay. All right. So those were my OVO notes. Next on our bullet list is continued follow-up about the Chelsea Flatwoods Nature Reserve regarding Alan Abbott's update from the Nature Conservancy. And I think it was, did you hear anything?
Yeah, I didn't get anything back, so I'll reach out to him and see if he had the meeting or what was the result of that. But
Okay. Put it back on there for next time. Yeah, this seems to be the time of year where they would, I don't know, coming up on spring when everything starts growing again. So, just make sure the herbicides don't get out there again. All right. I have a bullet for recruiting future members, which actually is kind of exciting because we received 2 more applications. That will come up in our next section, new business. And so I think it's good to keep recruiting future members. I don't think we have to like keep pushing ourselves as hard as we can. Because basically what's going to happen is we're going to have more applications than we have spots because we have 2 applications and 1 spot left to fill. And so we can talk about it more when this comes up on the agenda, but I think we can keep, and I don't know, I guess we can propose this. We can still recommend people for the commissioners and have them on the list for when somebody rolls off. We can just automatically cycle them in so we don't have to do it as people roll off and have that gap between memberships.
we can just make sure that we appoint them at the end of the year before so when their term ends, you'll have someone already ready to come in and not
Right.
anyways.
Right.
Are the terms calendar year? Like,
Yep.
okay.
We probably ought to check in. Some were 2 years and some were 1 year, trying to prevent a wholesale change out.
I know.
So we can look at that initial
Yeah.
appointment list and see what's
2 years. I can't remember.
so.
Yeah, I was a 1 year, and here I am. That is okay. We'll get it worked out, but yeah, we can chill a little bit with recruitment. But still, if you see somebody who would be a great fit, then we can still, like, put people on pause until it would be time to bring them in. So it's perfectly fine to keep having those conversations. All right. Next thing, Cammie and I participated in a community health fair on February 8th, which was quite nice. There were a lot of vendors there. We had Plinko. Did Kevin get that?
Yes,
Okay.
it has been returned.
I was not able to. And it was really good. It's really hard to get people out of their houses on a Saturday morning to go learn about health. But we did see quite a few people come through. We gave away fruit. A local nonprofit donated fruit. The Madison Community Grocery Project, which is connected to Madison Youth Unlimited, they wanted to contribute. So they donated fruit, and then whatever fruit wasn't taken by the end of the event, we donated that to the House of Hope. So, yeah. We did have some good interactions with people at the event. We were giving out information about the things we've done and talking about how we're looking for new members and things like that. So we'll see. We're just trying to be present in the community so people know that we're here and that we serve everybody. So yes. The next thing, one of my action items was to get the website updated with that health fair information and events for Black History Month. And I reached out to Sarah, who updated the website, got that done. And then I am still working on the wedding venues list. That is one thing I have not spent enough time on, but I'm hearing great news about new things coming up for weddings in our community. So I think we'll see more momentum there.
Is that outreach to local organizations for information?
Oh, for that?
Yeah, is that what that update is?
I think so.
Okay.
Or that might have actually been the Recovery Cafe, Jefferson House, Group Haven thing. Sorry, I might have gone off track with the agenda a little bit.
You're good.
I made some notes today. I did reach out to Kelly Hoagland with the Leadership Jefferson County, and she sent out a notice to all their past Leadership Jefferson County participants to let them know that we're here and looking for members. I did hear back from one. Unfortunately, they don't live in the county, so we can move forward with that. But the info's out there. So yeah, those are, I think, all of the follow-ups from our last meeting with action steps. So I will keep working on wedding venues that are affirming and strategic plan stuff. All right, so our next agenda item is to review applicants for new memberships to the HHRC. We can, in this meeting, decide if we want to make a decision in this meeting or if we want more information before we move forward, or we can vote. We do have a quorum, so we are able to do that today. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have 8 members now, so we just need one more, even though we have 2 applications. So we can nominate for approval, and once someone rolls off, we can bring them in. We just need to do that at the new year, but we have an active list to get the ordering right of who we approved in what order. So yes, are y'all able to review the applications? Okay. Is there any discussion about the applications that y'all wanted to talk about, or how we feel about moving forward?
I know one of them personally, and think that she would have a lot to offer. But I'm sure both of them do, right? So it's like,
Right, that's fine.
but since I know one personally, Lauren, she, her primary role is working in housing, and so that's a nice thing to add. And is a person of color, so I think that's also a nice thing to bring. And we have some of that representation as well. But in our community, I know she's really looking to connect in the local community more, and I think this could be a really great opportunity to connect her in.
Yeah.
So that's just my 2 cents.
I think I've met Lauren before, but since I don't work full-time at Hanover anymore, I don't have everyday interactions or anything like that. And that was kind of really my only one concern is we have a lot of Hanover College people on our commission, like tangentially me. And then 3 other people that work
At this
there.
point, yeah.
So that was my only concern of, do we want to spread y'all out a little bit? But that isn't like a deal breaker for me if we move forward that way. Because yeah, it makes it really hard when we have to like pick one or the other at this point. I did get feedback from Amanda, and she just basically said, they're both great. So if we needed to count that as a vote, I'm not sure we could even do that, but she did throw her 2 cents in. Do you think today we could make a decision, or do you want to wait to hear from our other board members or commission members?
I would be curious to hear what some of the other input would be. I think that we have 2 great selections,
Yeah.
and so like I don't think there's a wrong answer, but yeah. I don't think that either one would be a misstep, but I am kind of curious to know about maybe some of the other folks who work with a lot of Hanover College representation, and if we are broad in what we're able to offer from what we're seeing, or that is too narrow of a population that we interact with mostly.
Yeah. That is tough. It gets a little bubbly sometimes. So yeah. Any other opinions out there?
I guess the only thing I have to say is that they both seem very passionate, and I think that goes a very long way. I am interested in Stephanie's experience that she names her, her 12 years of experience. I don't know Lauren, I don't work at Hanover, so I don't have that context. But I think because this is a juncture where one of these people were gonna say no, sorry, not right now, to the more opinions of the people on the commission, the better.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's like we're eking by with our our votes this week, but I would like to have a more broader opinion of the whole group. It's kind of where I'm leaning to. How about you, Dave?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We don't have to rush into it, so let's
Yeah.
get the other 2's inputs and give us a little longer to look. So.
Yeah, I reached out to both and said if there's any other information you'd like to provide outside of what the application asks for, then you're welcome to do that. And I didn't get any other information, which is totally fine. It's not required, but would we be interested in asking them to like check in with us at a meeting, just to give us their elevator pitch or anything like that, or is that too stressful?
I would feel weird doing
Sure, if you're gonna take a vote that day.
Let's decide.
Stand on the hallway.
Really? Yeah, you're in for it.
Then watch the YouTube video and hear the discussion.
Yes. It feels like one of those singing talent shows. Just awkward enough.
Jefferson County's got talent.
got HRC talent.
But if both of them are good, one person can be like on hold. What's the next roll off? Who are, like, I don't know any of the years or like what's the,
I mean, I'll look at when we first appointed folks and kind of keep track of that. But, I mean, someone's term will be ending, I mean, it wouldn't be until the end of the year, but it will be ended at the end of the year.
this year.
This might be a strange question, but whenever new people are added to the commission, are they replacing a specific vacancy that had an assigned term to it?
Yeah.
And so we would need to figure out like
Right,
where the
that's right.
people left and whether they were filled? Okay.
And some that didn't make it to the end and left, and we have a little bit of say. So I'll try to get that information together and I'll share it, and then we can kind of decide how we want to assign.
Yeah, I think that's all important info to have before making a decision, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, to know, is it the 1 term or 1 year term or the 2 year term? And if everybody rolls off at the end of the year, then we can just go ahead and assign in the December meeting to name who's rolling in next year and who's rolling off.
Sure. You're gonna tell someone, sorry, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
You're coming.
Well, I think we would in advance, but
Yeah,
like
well, yeah,
just to
but
finalize
still,
it, make any votes we need to make. Here it comes.
You probably won't vote on you're leaving.
Merry
Hopefully
Christmas.
someone will say, "Okay, I'll go."
Survivor.
You're gone. You're off the commission. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is the hard part. The functionality of things is like, we love to do the fun stuff and doing things, but like, oh yes, we have to build a continuum. So, it's hard when you're new, but we'll work it out. So yeah, how about, I don't think we have to vote on it or anything like that, but I think we should, I'll inform the applicants that we're going to wait until the next meeting because we had some absences at this one, and we really do want to hear from all of our members because there is a bit of selectivity coming into this decision in the short term. So long term, we can very likely vote them both in, but it's just the timing of it. So, yeah. All right. Well, I would say action item is for everybody to think on that. Think on like, okay, who should we bring in right away for our vacancy? But who should we bring in a year or in December, January, when we roll back on and people roll off? I'm thinking I should probably eventually roll off and not be here forever, just because I was working on this for years before we even started. So I might need a break. But it doesn't mean that I would be like gone. I might show up and have questions and help transition things and things like that. So, so yes, I will not maybe make my 1 year term into a 3 year term. We might work on that. So yes, I think that with that discussion, we will move this to our agenda for our next meeting on March 27th, which is not that far away. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll make that an action item for everybody to think about how we should move forward with filling the one empty position. Okay. All right, so is there any other new business that people wanted to bring up? That was the only thing for new business on our agenda.
I'm curious if there is any benefit or thought to ways in which we can amplify some of the new resources that's coming through from the Jefferson Together grant that Hanover College was awarded. Because a lot of those things I think are community health focused with the connector trail, resources for parks and beautification, and also I would consider like access to arts and those sorts of things. And so that might just be inclusion of those, things we're excited about on the website, or if there's additional information that we could learn so that we could help, just seeing the excitements that we have for
Kind of
that.
like how we've been amplifying like the potential YMCA
Yes.
with the organization that's starting to put that, what is it called, a plan together, feasibility plan.
Yes.
study, yeah.
And I know that there's not necessarily wiggle room in terms of like changing what the plan is, but I do think that there's a lot to learn about what the plan is looking like in implementation. So maybe that would be a good visitor at some point to come and talk.
That'd be great. Yeah,
Is there a website for it, or do you know?
I don't think so. I know that there's like news announcements about like this is what it is.
But Chip Snyder will be the person to invite.
Just wonder if we
And maybe they need a little bit more time to start doing before they can.
from my experience being on the Hanover Town Council, like we're a part of that grant, so we have funding to spend in Hanover, the town, to do stuff, and we've identified some projects and even already put some money into things, but I think we're still in the process of figuring out how processes work to make that happen.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of things in the works about options that we're thinking about, so I think things are in motion.
Right.
So if we want to invite Chip, I don't think there's anything finalized. I mean, we use some of that funding for our water tower, which, I mean, you gotta have water to have a healthy community, so. But for more park-specific stuff or trail-specific stuff, I think either having Chip or representatives from the organizations that are tied into the grant. Because I think there's like Historical Society that's also involved in it, and a few other things as well. It may just be worth getting educated on what's going on with it.
Yeah. And I think having Chip too, he also, in his role, is doing more community outreach from the college into Hanover and Madison. And so I think hearing some of his ideas, and if there are ways we can help support some of that work, I think that would be great. He's bringing folks to Southwestern on Friday to read to students for Dr. Seuss Day, for example. And I just think if there are more things that, I don't know, if there are things he's thinking would be helpful but doesn't know how to make happen, like maybe those are some things we could support or connect him to the right people for.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we could use the website to promote some of those things and get kind of the word out and let people know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I think it'd probably be best to do that in a few months after more projects
More
have
stuff's
been
going.
solidified.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, I was thinking if there are news updates or something, we could have Sarah get an account, so she'll get that information and then she could put it up when it comes out, so we really wouldn't have to, one of us get it and then send it to her. She can just get it anyway.
Yeah.
But that would be just kind of an easy way to start getting people, make people.
Because I know they're going to publicize a lot when they start doing those projects, because that's part of it, to let the community know. But yeah, if we want to get an update from him, let's do it sometime this summer, since in the next few weeks, we're going to have the health department and Jefferson House and probably several other organizations come check in with us.
And that would give him almost a whole, well, at least an academic year under his belt to figure, because he's still trying to figure out everything anyway, right? So he'll have more to share by then too.
Yeah, because it's a lot. Yeah. So yeah, great. Along that same line, one of the projects that we're starting to look into for Hanover, and maybe Madison is too, I don't know. I know that they've been meeting with a lot of different people, are these little fitness courts that we were with the National Fitness Campaign. So that's a possibility. Nothing has been voted on or anything like that, but we're getting more information about it just to like educate ourselves about it. So, but yeah. They're pretty fun, like, you know, for adults, for older children, for the elderly, very accessible. So, so yeah, I think it would have a great benefit, but it really depends on what the community wants. And I think that's where we are right now. It's just trying to figure out and reach out to the community about what they want. So yeah, things are in progress there. Any other things for new business? Hearing none. We'll move on to number 6 on the agenda, which is review action items for our next meeting.
All right, I have Jane Stormer send notes from OVO visit for inclusion in the minutes. I have Dave Bramer follow up with Lindsay W. for updates when appropriate. I think, is that a correct update? Is that who you needed to follow up with?
Mine is Live Spring.
Live Spring?
Yeah.
Okay, let me change that. Live Spring. I have for Jane, continue strategic plan research, and then for Jane, research inclusive wedding venues for the new community resource. Dave Bramer, look into appointments for the current HHRC membership to inform the conversation about new membership. All consider best fit for HHRC with new members, and then all review applicants for HHRC to decide if we need to request more information. Is there any other action items that need to be added, or is that a good summary?
Will you amend the wedding venue one
Yes.
to include, or wedding venues and resources?
Okay.
Like,
Inclusive spaces.
yeah,
Uh,
like bakers and photographers and dress shops and all the peripheral wedding things that are required. I'm trying to make a pretty inclusive list. It might be a banner. We'll see.
Make it flag and put it on a truck and drive it everywhere.
Yeah, that would be fun. Just take up the whole table at my next health fair. All right, that sounds great. So, here I got off my notes to copy and paste the things over. So that means that number 7 on our agenda is to review future meeting dates. Our next one is March 27th, back on a Thursday, which is our norm. Same time, same place. Then the next one would be April 24th. And then after that, May 29th. Which is probably close to the Memorial Day weekend, so that's one we want to keep an eye on to make sure people will be here. I'm pretty sure I will be here, so.
I'll be at the Zanzibar conference.
Oh, yeah, that's why I'll be here.
That's why you'll be here.
Because I'm not going. Have fun.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so those are our future meeting dates. And number 8 on our agenda is adjournment. So I am going to make a movement to adjourn tonight's meeting. All right, TJ seconds, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.